Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to a cool little show here we're going to do today, which is all about those albums we listen to like during a snowstorm in the wintertime, right? Those albums that kind of give you that kind of middle of the winter. It's cold. There's little white stuff falling from the sky, collecting on the ground. This is actually Jamie Laszlo's idea. He's actually going to be joining me today. Oh, and there he is. Speaking of the devil, he's coming in from the outside.
Do not go out there unless you plan on shoveling my driveway. Do not go out there.
Dude, I was out chipping ice all morning. I have no interest in doing that again anytime soon. No interest in doing that anytime soon because ice is a bitch, especially when it's like, thick.
Shoveling that snow with the ice underneath is a young man's job.
Yeah, no good. No good. Holy cow. What do we got? Like a 10-foot drift out there? Gee whiz.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Good thing, though, I did go to the store before all this happened, and I got the necessities. I made sure I was good. So let me take this off. So come with me.
All right. I was just going to ask, you got your bread, you got your milk, your eggs, your toilet paper.
I got milk and bread for weeks. That's all you need, right?
Well, you got to have some beer, right? Where's the beer? I'm sure that's in the important
fridge.
Right?
Yeah, it's in the fridge. And a little bit in my belly right now.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit.
All the essentials. So, once you get home, like with all that stuff and you put it away and you've maybe gone out and shoveled a couple times, and then you crack open one of those cold ones, usually you accompany all that with some music, right? And I think that's the point of this whole show. So Jamie and I have each picked out 5 albums that we like to listen to when we're stuck at home, inside, snowing outside, and we're just chilling indoors, looking out, seeing all that fluffy white stuff filling up our backyards and trees and things like that. So we have not shared our choices at all. So I'm curious to see what Jamie has chosen. I'm sure he's interested in mine as well. And it'll be interesting to see, because this is something I never really gave a lot of thought to before. I just, tend to listen to stuff certain times of the year, certain situations. And I always thought, because you especially talk to someone like Steve Keeler, right? Who's always like, oh, when it's the winter time, when it's cold and freezing out, it's snowing, it's time to listen to Norwegian black metal. And for years, I always thought, yeah, I guess so, right? But when I really sat down to think about doing this, that's not the kind of stuff I like to listen to in the wintertime. So I was very kind of surprised when I really thought about some of the things I reach for when I'm, maybe sitting at home during a snowstorm and not working, right? And obviously just kind of chilling out. Some very wintry type albums. So I'll have Jamie kick us off with his first selection of the day, and we'll see where he goes with that.
This is kind of like a sister show to our summer album show we did last summer.
Yep.
So it's winter. And as much as I talked about these bands and albums on our summer show, as much as I love Foreigner and Journey, they get tucked away. They hibernate for the winter. It's just summertime music. In the winter, your broth and your food gets a little thicker. You go from maybe chicken noodle to beef stew. You might drink a Corona in the summer. Well, you don't, but other people might, Pete. And in the winter, it's a winter stout. The music's the same thing. It gets a little bit more dense, a little bit more thick for me. And the first one I'm going to go with is Jomsviking by Amon Amarth. This album gives you the feeling of kind of this cold, wet, fighting out in the snow maybe. The album actually gives me a feeling. I pulled the album and I don't know, it's buried in the milk and the bread. Dust, their album, what's it called? Hard. What am I thinking of, Pete?
Yeah, Heart Attack.
Yeah, yes. It gives me the feeling of that album cover sometimes. But I would call this band, everyone talks about Gojira and Opeth. I would tell your listeners, if you don't get into like extreme metal, try these guys because there's a lot of traditional metal on here, a lot of Maiden Gallops. They actually do a song with Doro on this. But you got lyrics like I journey through the frozen land on my own. There's no shelter anywhere down the road. And you got Raise Your Horns, which kind of reminds you of a bunch of burly guys that right after a battle coming in from the cold and they're raising their horns around a table. I actually saw them at a festival and they were selling, that had nothing to do with Monomarth, but they were selling horns. So when they sang Raise Your Horns, everyone literally had a horn to raise.
Yep,
How
yep.
beautiful was that?
Yep.
And you could put it around your neck and everything. So yes, a Monomarth. If I was going into battle, Pete, in the snow, I would be the first one to die. But I would also want this album on my earbuds as I was charging in.
There you go. I've seen them live so many times. Johan, the singer, he's had one of those little drinky poo things. Almost every time I've seen them, he pulls that out at some point. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah.
All right. You don't get that on a streaming.
No, you don't. You don't even get it on a CD, actually.
No.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of a Monomarth. You know what it is?
Really?
I don't dislike them, but I'm just like, every album just sounds the fucking same to me. I don't know what
You did didn't you do a rake in the albums? Kind of lost interest since.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know. I have a few of their albums and they're good. I never feel the need to listen to them because to me they all kind of sound the same. They're all good, but I don't know.
But fun in a punk rock kind of way.
Yeah, they are,
but
fun.
Still fun.
You know what it is? I think too. I literally over the span of like 3 or 4 years back in like the early 2010s. Or maybe, between like 2005 and like 2012, I must have seen them like 10 times live. They opened up like every show that I went to, in the city. And I was like, I just got to a point where I was like, God, I never need to hear this band again. But I know a lot of people love them. So, it's cool. And man, you guys drink a lot of milk. Holy cow.
No, Pete, this is for just the bit. What's funny is I went to the grocery store and bought a bunch of bread and milk just for the bit. Right before the storm. And of course, people were looking at me like I was a nutcase, hoarding the milk and the bread.
I was going to say, hold on. I know there's only 2 of you there.
If anyone out there needs some milk, let me know and I will ship one to you because I'm going to waste it.
Half price. All right. My first selection of the day is a very applicable album, and it's a wonderful album. It's lovely. Like I said, I was not expecting how I was going to go as far as direction with this particular episode and this assignment here. But I actually, when I'm home during a storm, I like to hear calm, relaxing, soothing stuff that makes me feel like I'm sitting out there in my backyard. It's deathly quiet. And all I hear is the kind of pitter pattering of the snow falling on top of my head or my dogs running through the snow. That's like the mood that I usually get in. So my first choice is a band that I really love. I don't even know what you call these guys. They're an instrumental band. They're not really jazz. They're not really fusion. They're kind of like Baroque chamber. I don't know, whatever. Oregon, Winter Light is the album. And this is from 1974 on the old Vanguard label. This is Ralph Towner on acoustic and 12-string classical guitar. There's oboes. You got Paul McCandless on oboe, English horn, clarinet, Glenn Moore on bass, Ralph Towner on guitar and French horn and piano, and Colin Walcott on sitar and tablet and various different percussion things. This is really quiet, meditative, just kind of like tribally chamber music with guitar and reeds, and I don't know. I never know how to explain these guys because it's kind of jazz, but it's not. It's kind of classical, but not. Just really, really gorgeous mood music. And this is, I could just picture myself sitting back, looking out the window, watching the snowfall. This is playing in the background, and I got my little, maybe a little stout beer or something, whatever. And I'm just kind of like, just chilling out with a candle lit. Perfect for it, right? So that's my first choice for today, Oregon. And you're going to get a lot of more, similar things to this, I think, but hopefully some surprises for people. So back to you.
Okay. I see we went total opposite routes on this assignment.
I thought I was going to go a different direction. So I really thought about it. I was like, yeah, you know what? That's really not what I listen to, right? So,
well, the next one might be on your list. I don't know. I have a feeling it might. It's behind me. Got to go with Stormwatch. Now, a lot of these albums that I chose, they have a mood of, oh, it's snowing. This one kind of has the mood of, hey, it's snowing. It makes you go, dit, 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 dit. And I do have a tradition, Pete. I have a tradition, a newer tradition. I play this every time we get our first snowfall. And I'm not talking about some flurries in October. I'm talking about real snowfall.
Yeah.
I bust this out the first day. I love traditions. I love to make up traditions. If you make up traditions, Pete, you do stupid shit and it seems more important that it feels like something important's going on, but nothing really is going on. It's important at all. I don't know how much it has to do with winter and everything. It has to do with the environment and oil and all kinds of stuff. But you got something's on the move. The weatherman says there's something on the move, makes you feel like a storm's coming in. It's just, I got to admit though, would it be on my list if it wasn't for this cover? I do not know, but you can't go. Do you see the snow falling on the DVD? You can't go wrong with that. And I'm going to admit it right here. I've been in denial for maybe a year. Favorite Tull album. It's my favorite. I mean, I love it to death. It's 79, but it kind of sounds like an 80s album. People call it a trilogy, I believe, with Heavy Horses and Songs from the Wood.
Yep.
I don't put it in there at all. I put it with A and Broadsword and the Beast.
Well, you know why? Because it's the bridge album. It's the album that perfectly bridges Heavy Horses.
Bridges the two together. I feel like it goes towards A more than it does Heavy Horses. Yeah, it's got, in my mind.
Got a little of both, I think. It's to me, it's the perfect transition album.
All right, Stormwatch.
The weatherman said something's on the moon.
See, I figured it would be.
Yeah, I love this album. I mean, I won't say it's my favorite Tull album, but I think this album gets a lot of shit from a lot of people. It's like, Songs from the Wood and Heavy Horses, two beloved albums and kind of bright and uplifting albums, whereas this is a little darker. I don't mind that. I don't mind dark at all. I think this is definitely a moodier album. I love it. I mean, it's got the Flying Dutchman and Dark Ages. Dark Ages is so great. It's kind of like menacing and slow and heavy. And North Sea Oil is great. Orion is great. Old Ghost has some cool little instrumental things and lots of great like epic long tracks. And even like the if you have to get the box set, which I didn't pull out, but the box set's got like a whole handful of never before released tracks that didn't make the album that are just as good as what's on the album. But yeah, I mean, come on, right there, it says it all right there. You got the big bear on the back, and yeah, I love this album, and it to me also screams winter. And I think Songs from the Wood and Heavy Horses to me are fall albums. And that, I think that's one of the reasons why I like this trio of albums so much, because to me, they're like, they take you from the very early, like Songs from the Wood is like a late summer, early fall. Heavy Horses is all fall as you're moving into winter. And this is your winter album. And
would you call a spring album?
I call it an Eddie Jotson album. Anthony, if you're watching, there you go. Drink, buddy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if A is necessarily a summer album, but maybe. It's definitely a, something different, right? But this is, the third in the trio of, for me, a pretty magical time in the history of Tull. But yeah, it's the total winter album for me. I also love to listen to this in the wintertime. And I may not do it religiously like you, but I do like to play it around this time of year.
You made me think of something. You made me put my thoughts in order. It is a darker album, which gives you that winter feel. But it's the flute dances and there's keyboards to keep it lighter too, to make it joyful that it's snowing. Yeah. Dark that it's snowing, but joyful that it's snowing. So
yeah, absolutely.
Great combination there. What do I have next? You know what I love to do? Well, I did it once and it was such a magical experience that I associate this band with winter now for all time. Moody Blues. They are dense they might be lush, but there's a lot of dense music going on in that lushness. I don't normally gravitate towards lush music, but I love the Moody Blues. To me, it's almost like Christmas music when it's not Christmas in a way. It doesn't sound like Christmas music, but it gives me the same kind of feeling. I put this album on a few years ago at night when it was snowing. You got to do this when it's the big, thick snowflakes, not a storm with little ones going in the wind. And you put this on, and it's like you look out your window and you see snowflakes dancing to the music. And I don't mean sensitive people out there who are butthurt about things. I mean real snowflakes, Pete. All right. You don't got weirdos out there dancing in your lawn. You got real snowflakes falling from the sky dancing to the music. I'll never forget it. I could have gone with this one, which is actually my favorite album, On a Threshold of a Dream.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
But I went with Question of Balance because you got, and then you got, when you have the narration, it feels like a fairy tale's going on, and a fairy tale has magic in it, and there's something magical about snow, and it just works. Love the Moody's during winter, and especially when it's snowing.
I agree with you. And actually, in my original top 5, when I was putting this together, I had Days of Future Past in my original list. That got bumped for something else because I had like a whole bunch of titles, and I was like, something I thought was a little more applicable that I probably listen to more around this time of year. And that actually happens to be my next choice, which is Camel's The Snow Goose. And talk about lush,
very
beautiful,
lush,
and pastoral and all that good stuff. And this particular album is all instrumental, and you got lovely guitars and flutes and the orchestra and all that kind of thing. And it just, all the little movements just kind of, it's just whimsical and wistful, and just lovely stuff. And ironically, this is a Camel album. Like usually, like when I talk about my favorite Camel albums, this isn't my favorite. Might not even be my number 2 or 3. It's up there. It's a top 4. But I generally, like throughout the year, if I'm in the mood to listen to Camel, I generally don't reach for this. I have others that I like better because the others I find more applicable to an any day listen. Whereas this is definitely that sitting, watching the snow fall down, and just being in that kind of tranquil kind of mood type of thing. But a gorgeous little album. Definitely one of their most well-known albums, but definitely for me, a trapped in a snowstorm or sitting down inside while you're all warm watching the snowfall, that type of an album for me.
A little too lush for me, Pete.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
You and Martin did a show not too long ago about one album you like from one band. I like Mirage. That's it.
Really? Wow.
Everything else
not even their debut or Moon Madness. Wow, Mirage.
Oh no, you know what? Their debut is good. I forgot about that. Yeah, debut is good. Scratch that. My next one, something I listen to in the morning with coffee in the summertime too, but man, does it work at winter so much better. Another kind of tradition, whenever I go on a musical journey, which I think you've seen on Facebook, I'll take a picture of every album and post them all together. It usually starts with Bell Witch. Oh man, I know you like that cover.
That's awesome. Yeah. Never heard a lick of their music, but I love the cover.
No, I'm not normally down with Funeral Doom. It's just a little too, but man, this works. 2 guys, a bass player, drummer, no guitarist, and you do not miss having no guitar. You don't. You actually kind of feel like it is a guitar. Some bands are like that, like Royal Blood is another one. You're like, really? That's not a guitar? Same thing here, except that it's doomy. And this plays out. I'm not going to say it sounds like a prog rock album. Kind of does, but it plays like one. It takes you on a journey, man. It's 80 minutes long, and when it's over, I'm sad. Love this stuff. And there is some harsh blackened vocals to it, but way down in the mix, over the music kind of goes over it. And then when he does sing clean, it sounds like he's distant, like the voice is there, but not there. Kind of like when Obi-Wan Kenobi talks to Luke and says, use the Force, Luke. The voice is there, but kind of not. That's how he sings in this, man. And I sit there. I bought this mug just for my mornings. It says Bell Witch, and I sit there and I drink my coffee. And it's just, 80 minutes. Well, it doesn't take 80 minutes to drink the coffee. It's 15 minutes of pure bliss.
There you go. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds. I gotta check that out because some funeral doom I just can't get into because it's.
You might like that one.
Yeah, some of it's too slow, and sometimes the vocals are just like, man, they're just like this,
Yeah, there's not a lot of that there.
And it sounds like it's buried. It sounds like someone's trying to sing buried like 5 feet underground, and it's just I don't know.
This guy's just like 2 feet underground, not 5.
Okay, not too bad. That's not too bad. So my next choice is from a band that I love to listen to this time of year, and it almost doesn't matter. I've got like a handful of their albums I just love around this time of year, so I had to pick just one of them. So I went with Wind and Wuthering by Genesis. Genesis to me is a fall and winter band. Just I tend to not, Genesis is not a sit out by the pool, drinking a couple beers in the sun type of band for me. Genesis,
unless you got Invisible Touch on and some chick.
That's not happening. That's not happening. But in the fall and the winter time, man, give me this. Give me Trick of the Tail. Give me Foxtrot, Lamb Lies Down, Nursery Crime Trespass any day of the week. But this to me is just a good late fall, early winter album. I mean, even the whole album itself just has this kind of like bleak type of thing going on. Just some great songs. I mean, 11th Earl of Mar, In That Quiet Earth, Blood on the Rooftops, Your Own Special Way, Unquiet Slumbers for the Sleepers. This is all, Hackett with all those, great acoustic and electric guitars and the keys, and it's a wonderful, wonderful pastoral type of an album I just loved. So it's another good one that I love to listen to in this time of year during that snowstorm, right?
Right.
Light that candle and just sit back and enjoy.
I'm already on my last one.
Yep.
I have a couple honorable mentions though, and none of mine were in any order. Because how do you like this one's snowier than that one?
Yeah.
But my number one is my number one though, and it's hard to deny it. I never hear you talk about this album, but I think you know of it. And I'm going with Agalloch, The Mantle.
Oh yeah, I have that.
Yeah, you put that on, man. You are in a cabin out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. Wherever you are, you can be in a high rise in New York. You are in a cabin out in the woods. I mean, it has sound effects of like chimes that sound like they're made out of bones. They literally, on the song The Lodge, literally use a deer skull as a percussion instrument. They hit a deer skull. What's more, out in the woods, it's like they recorded it in a cabin. Acoustic guitars are beautiful. Even, you can call this like extreme metal because of the vocals. You out of it, and it's mum music. My mom would love this if it had normal vocals, and it kind of has normal vocals here and there. All the normal vocals are in one note though, it seems. But what a note. And it's just, even like the faster songs have beautiful passages with acoustic guitars. And is it prog? Is it folk metal? Is it extreme metal? I don't know. It's lightning in a bottle. They captured it on this. They came damn close with Ashes Against the Grain. It's my second favorite by them. The other albums, to be honest, I don't even own them. I've listened to them and I'm like, this is where it's at. They put all their pennies in one jar with this album, man. Love it.
Yeah, it's a good choice. For me, Wolves in the Throne Room also kind of hit me very similarly to Agalloch. They're kind of black metal, but not. They're kind of folk, but not. They're kind of avant-garde, but not. It's like all these kind of this collision of all these different styles that the music's really kind of weird and enchanting at the same time, and definitely mood music. So yeah, it's a good choice. That's a good choice. My last one is kind of an outlier in their catalog, especially at the time when they released it. So they released this album in conjunction with another album. The one was really heavy and this one was really light. I'm talking about Damnation from Opeth. Deliverance is the other one, right? Deliverance is big and bruising, complicated death metal. And this is folky and proggy with mellotrons all over the place and acoustic guitars and Michael Ackerfeld's lovely vocals. I mean, this has some just drop dead classics on it, like Window Pane and In My Time of Need. Anytime I listen to In My Time of Need, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, pour yourself a cup of hot, nice hot herbal tea or whatever. And just like, man, just like sink into the couch while 3 feet of snow are piling up outside of your window type of thing. So that is my final pick of the day. I did want to list a couple of honorable mentions. So I also, and again, I couldn't decide which one, so I ultimately left him off the list, but Miles Davis.
Yes.
I freaking love listening to Miles Davis in the wintertime. I
Yes.
just couldn't decide which album. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to leave it off the list and do an honorable. But I was thinking Sketches of Spain, as well as In a Silent Way, as well as Bitches Brew.
Let's just include them all. Fuck it.
Yeah, yes. Miles is great wintertime music, man. And Miles is great summertime music too. Miles is great anytime music for me, but for me, like Sketches of Spain is just absolutely heart-wrenchingly beautiful. And it's one of his early ones from the 50s, but man, it's just like, just so lovely, with the orchestra and his, just really, really great. And I did want to include one black metal album on this list because, again, like I said at the beginning, I fully anticipated that, all right, wintertime, I'm probably just going to pick a bunch of black metal things. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I really don't listen to any black metal in the wintertime. However, one is applicable for this time of year, and I used to listen to a lot this time of year, and that's At the Heart of Winter by Immortal, which just had, the title track, and just there's a lot of things on that album that just, make you wish you were in like a ice cold, frostbitten forest in Norway, right? Even though it's obviously not possible, but that's definitely of its time. And I think that when you think of icy cold, black metal out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, just there's snow all around you, it's coming down, you got, maybe you hear the howling of the wolves off in the distance, and you're like, oh shit, there's not a person or town in sight, I'm doomed, right? That's the album for you. And that a lot of that kind of music is perfect for that. So I did want to throw that one out there as well.
I had these two as honorable mentions: Blaze in the Northern Sky by Dark Throne, and some Celtic Frost.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's my favorite by them.
This one, you know what? I was playing it before our show. It's like getting crucified with icicles.
Yeah.
That's what this album is like, in a good way. I was going to mention Miles Davis. Honorable mention was also Opeth, but I went with the newest one.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm always going to say it wrong. In Cauda Venenum. Is that how you say it?
In Cauda Venenum, yeah.
I got the, they did it in Swedish. So I got the one in Swedish with the Swedish flag, and the one in English with a glow in the dark vinyl. And then I got the CD with both. This album cost me over $100 when it came out, Pete.
Oof, wow.
With all that, well, there's 70, well, close to it.
Yeah, I got the double disc set too, and I like, it's funny because the English and the Swedish sound a bit different from each other, but I never listened to the Swedish one. I think I listened to it like twice. I was like, all right,
that's the one I listened to most.
Really?
Yeah.
And I don't have an issue with vocals in other languages. I don't know, man. I want to hear Michael sing in English, I guess. I don't know.
I think it works better, especially the ballad parts work better in Swedish.
Well, I agree with you on that. Yeah.
There's the Heart Attack that I was trying to find earlier. Is buried. Great. It's not very wintry sounding though, is it?
No.
I'm gonna go with my shirt and go with Paul Bearer. You could pick anyone, but I'm showing this one because I got it signed by the band, Foundation of Burden. And then I'm gonna go with Elder. You can pick any Elder album.
Yeah, that's
I think the lore works. Is it lore or the lore? I think it's just lore. Yeah, lore works best, I believe. People out there, if you haven't listened to
Elder's
great, and you think there's nobody out there who plays guitar well anymore, listen to these guys, man. They're like a dense metal version of the Allman Brothers a little bit.
Yeah, they're jamming.
They're jamming. And you know what? This just came out this winter. and it works well. The new Earthless.
I'll have it this week. I just ordered it. Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, another guitar players that are this guy. I saw them live and talked to him afterwards. I was like, let me see your fingertips. How are they not bleeding?
Yeah, that guy is amazing. Yeah, he's really.
What's the new one called? The Parade of 100 Demons.
I think that album's what, 2 tracks, one like 40 minutes long, one like 20 minutes long. It's all
one's broken up into 2 parts.
Yeah,
20 minutes each, and then there's a third track.
Crazy. Yeah, and you know,
I know, but it doesn't feel long, the songs.
Yeah, well, their stuff doesn't. I mean, that's like if you're into kind of more jammy stuff, but definitely that like psychedelic prog and metal edge to it. Earthless are great. You know, the funny thing is, I love their last album, which had all vocals on it. I thought that was terrific, but that's not normally what they do.
I thought that's the direction they were going to go from now on, start singing.
That's what I thought.
There's no vocals.
All right, we got that out of our system. We're going to go back to playing all instrumental jammy stuff again. So if you love loads of guitar solos, get the new work.
I'm going to admit something though. You could take, I got 4 Earthless albums. You could take a 5-minute segment out of one and play it for me and say, Laszlo, what album's that from? Nope. All 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't know, but it's cool.
Yep, exactly. Another one I almost picked was Night Passage by Weather Report. I wanted to throw a Weather Report on here too, but it can only fit 5. So yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of others if I thought, continue to think about it, but I'm sure there's like a Black Sabbath thing. Yeah, because I
wanted to mention
Sabbath all year round. So
yeah, Sabbath works great in the winter though.
Yeah, like Volume 4, or Master of Reality. Or Sabotage. I really like those albums around this time of year.
Yeah,
there's some Rush albums too. Like Caress of Steel to me is a perfect album for wintertime. I know there's people seem to hate that album, but I love Caress of Steel.
I just like harder music in the wintertime. Death metal, jazz in the morning, death metal during the day. And then summer comes and it's Journey and Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, the summertime is just good old classic rock and southern rock and, jam music. And
Pete, I'm a spotlight. You got 2 different kinds of music fans. Sorry, I'm eating bread. It's got to go somewhere, in the trash or in me. You got laser beams, and they focus on one genre, maybe 2, maybe a couple of subs, and they know it inside and out. They know every band member, everything. And I envy those people. I'm like, how do you know who's playing guitar on what? God bless you. I'm a spotlight. Same amount of energy, but it's spread. I got Miley Cyrus, Madonna, Britney Spears, all the way to death and everything in between. Same amount of energy, just the light's a lot less bright on everything. I don't know everything about everything, but I just know a little about a lot.
Okay, it's all right. Nothing wrong with that. So there you have it, everybody. Some of our favorite albums to listen to in the wintertime while a snowstorm's happening outside. Let us know what your 5 favorite albums are for wintertime listening and put those in the comments below. And I do want to give a little plug for a show that Jamie and I are going to be doing in the very near future. We're going to be ranking the albums of a little known band called Chemist,
who I could have included in this, but I didn't want to. Because
the CD's been sitting right in front of me for the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, yeah, I could. I'm not going to. So yeah, I was same thought process as you. But yeah, we're going to be ranking these 4 bad boys sometime over the next week or 2. So stay tuned for that. And for those of you watching who have never heard of Chemist before, I would say kind of a doom, melodic death metal, prog.
A little bit of black metal vocals here and there, just peppered out. Yeah. My wife can listen to Chemist, and if she can handle those vocals, you guys can. She's from Kenya, for crying out loud. And come on down to Let's Get Physical, my page on Facebook. It has nothing to do with Olivia Newton-John. It has everything to do with physical media, books, comic books, magazines, newspapers, Blu-rays. Some people are showing their action figures. That's fine. There's no rules. Just come and have fun, post things like other things, show off. Hey, look at this. I spent like $150 on this. My wife got pissed. You'll get love from us. I swear to God. You'll want to marry us.
How many people we got now following?
It's been stuck at 222. I think that was like a show back in the late 60s, room 222 or something.
Well, that's not too bad. It's only a couple of weeks, right? So that's not too bad.
Yeah. So hopefully I plug it a little bit here and there and we get some people. I can't put the link below because YouTube takes it away. So just search for Let's Get Physical on Facebook.
There you go. So for those of you watching, if you are on Facebook, just search for that, join up in the group, and we'll see you there. Everybody's showing off all their stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here together all the damn time on YouTube. Coming up, let's see. Tomorrow is album homework assignment. Gee, I wonder who's going to be on that show tomorrow.
I don't know, Pete.
No,
I heard it's some jerk.
Mr. Jamie Laszlo going.
Yeah, I was right. Some asshole. The rumor was true.
That's right. That's right. Going head to head with Bryce from Bryce Talks Metal. So that's coming up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned for that. And then, of course, Monday, the week starts all over again with the Hudson Valley Squares on Monday night. Album War from 1982. Once again, Black Sabbath's Live Evil going head to head with Ozzy Osbourne's Speak of the Devil. The fireworks are going to be lit off left and right. So stay tuned for that on Monday night. And for Jamie Laszlo, I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you all then. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.